Falcons and Eagles, the last two NFC champions, kicked off the NFL season in an early conference power struggle. And last week, the Georgia Bulldogs looked like a playoff team. But this week, the season starts for real against South Carolina. It's time for the fastest 30 minutes on TV, football's play to win.
Today's show is being brought to you by Mellow Mushroom, Atlanta Peach Movers, and the Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute. Welcome to football's Play to Win with Falcons All-Pro defensive end Chuck Smith, Falcons All-Pro offensive tackle Bob Whitfield, Play to Win expert Jeffrey the Edge Schechter, player medical and injury reports with Dr. Sadiq El-Amin, Falcons All-Pro running back Jamal Anderson, and your host, Nikki Williams. Today's Hometown Team Report is brought to you by Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers, a higher order of pizza for your tailgating events.
Good morning and welcome to football's Play to Win. We are so excited to be back. The NFL is finally back. Bob Whitfield, Jamal Anderson, Chuck Smith.
In the house.
In the house.
Yes.
Well, I think we've all had a moment to cool down after that Falcons-Eagles game, but we're all still
debatable,
feeling some kind of
but
way.
you're
How's everybody doing over there?
Doing good.
You know,
Saturday. I mean,
What are your thoughts on that game?
How many chances?
Here's the thing. When you start the season against the defending Super Bowl champs, I felt the Falcons played against the Eagles the best in the playoffs last year. They had opportunities to win that game, and we saw a very disappointing outcome again in a similar situation. No disrespect to the Eagles. They're the Super Bowl champs. They're at home, first game. But the Falcons had a great chance to win, and they did not
all
get it
that
done.
Super Bowl champ nonsense is nothing, man.
Yeah.
When you have that many opportunities to win in
Right.
the red zone, you have to execute. And
Right.
we didn't see the level of execution
Right.
we expect to see from the Falcons,
Yep.
and it makes us a little
I
angry
don't
about it.
disagree with any of that, but my point is
They had those chumps.
Yeah.
The champs were chumps that day.
I don't know about that.
I call it resiliency. Give Philly a lot of credit. You make your own breaks.
Yeah.
Falcons were forced their hand a lot of times because Philadelphia had pressure on both
Right.
sides of the ball in the end of the game. So, I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to Philly, but the Falcons didn't help themselves.
Oh,
Was
man.
it deja vu to you?
Yeah.
Looked like
It
last
was
year.
definitely
To be honest with you,
second-
Bob, it was very,
yeah.
very eerily
all
similar
the way down
because
to the
they
last
had the
one.
ball in the
Right.
red zone where they had a chance to score in the red zone
Yep.
difficulties or
Let's
something.
take a look at the
We're talking about.
stats here. Look at those penalties.
Well, that's historical.
More
That's a lot.
penalties since that's the most penalties since 1999, November 28th. Bob, I think you were playing then.
We were all in that game.
He was there.
Yeah.
Bob, I
holding
bet you
penalties,
did. I
Bob.
bet you had a headbutt penalty. That was my thing.
The most thing I remember about that is the Philadelphia fans throwing stuff at my grandparents. God bless. They're hardcore, bro. They are no joke in Philly.
All right, guys, we got more Falcons coming up. Well, Georgia's headed over to South Carolina. That game sometimes is on Georgia's radar. It's not. It's always a big deal to South Carolina. But even bigger than that, these coaches, there's
Right.
a little chumraderie going on there.
There's no
They played
question.
together.
Yeah, no, well, Will Muschamp and Kirby Smart were at Georgia together. Obviously, the history with both of them at Georgia. Listen, South Carolina comes into this game, and Georgia hasn't had a tremendous amount of success at William Brice Stadium recently. But South Carolina comes to this game hyped up, and they're talking a lot of trash. I know Deebo Samuel's acting like he doesn't know who one of the best cornerbacks in the nation is. So there's a lot of subplots involved in this game, and Georgia better be prepared.
Anytime you have a Debo, you got to be prepared for a Debo.
Well, you know the stepchild is, right? Well, it's sort of like South Carolina is kind of like Stanford is to USC in the Pac-12. Georgia has always overshadowed South Carolina. This rivalry is really like South Carolina is the stepchild, so you kind of can relate to that right from the Pac-12.
Oh,
but really,
he's
South
taking low
Carolina
blows.
for years has always tried to measure up to Georgia, but they've never quite been able to get to that success. So South Carolina always is motivated in this game because they used to be in that stepchild.
And they got a good quarterback in Jake Bentley.
Well, that helps.
That can compete against Jake Fromm.
And then just the history there. Georgia knows how important this game is and where their standings are and what they're trying to do. So this is going to be a big one.
And another big one, Tech flying south down to South Florida. How do you see that going for the Ramblin' Wreck?
Well, it's always tough to play Georgia Tech, and they got that option thing going on with the triple option and the B-backs, but they about to run into a tough opponent that Charlie Strong has going on in South Florida. They're 10-2 last year, and they're chomping at the bit for some big ACC action. So I I see this as a very good game. It's going to be action-packed all day.
I agree with you there, Bob. I mean, when Charlie Strong took over this team last year, and to come out of the box 10-2, there's a tremendous amount of excitement. When I looked at this game on Georgia Tech's schedule, week 2, I was like, it doesn't get any easier. It might as well be when playing one of the tougher ACC opponents. So I expect for South Florida to be very difficult for Tech this week.
But let me get a mention before you go, Nikki. Georgia State.
I was going to give you that.
Georgia State. This might be the biggest game in Georgia. Is Georgia State going North Carolina State. That is a tough game for this Georgia State team. They struggled a little bit against Kennesaw State, but I like Georgia State up in North Carolina
You
State.
said upset?
Upset City.
He tripping. Go ahead.
Tripping.
He tripping.
Well, guys, the SEC had a great week 1, but does it even mean anything? We'll find out when we come back on Football's Play to Win.
Fuel your football. Come to Mellow Mushroom for craft brews, fresh cocktails, and stone-baked pizzas. Or mellow at your own home gate. Tailgating? No matter who wins, it's always mellow for the win. Fuel your football with Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers.
Why are we taking him?
I have no clue. We're just TV doctors.
If this was a real emergency, I'd be freaking out. But thanks to Cigna, we can do more than just look heroic.
We can help save lives by getting you to a real doctor for a checkup. Nurse, this thing's defective.
Please don't touch that.
We are the TV doctors of America.
Together with Cigna reminding you.
To go, know, and take control of your health.
Doctor poses.
Cigna, together, all the way.
We're expanding our vegetable menu. Looking for a lifestyle change or just trying to eat a little bit better? Well, This Is It is here to serve. Vegetables include fresh broccoli, squash, greens, cabbage, green beans, and so many more vegetables. Every Tuesday is now Healthy Tuesdays. Buy a 4-veggie plate and get a 3-veggie plate absolutely free. That's right, a free vegetable plate. Everybody eat more veggies.
Today's SEC and ACC report is being brought to you by Nissan.
Welcome back to Football's Play to Win. SEC going 13-1 week 1. We didn't learn too much. We did learn a couple of things, though. One of them being, I think we can safely say 2-0 won that quarterback battle.
No, he didn't.
I'm not asking
What?
Nick Saban.
No, Nicky, he didn't. He didn't.
Yeah.
Nick Saban just gave Tua the starting job.
Yeah, it was pretty evident. We were all waiting to see what Nick Saban was going to do. It was a conversation that everybody was talking about who was going to be the starter. Tua went out there first, and clearly by the performance and the way he moved that Alabama offense in the first half, it was definitely a difference when Jalen Hurts came into the game. And, it is what it is, but it came down to who played better in that football game, and you had to go with Tua.
But Hurt used to beat people like that too now. I mean, Jalen, when they put him in game. So let me ask you this. If you think they had Jalen Hurts in that game the whole game, they wouldn't have been able to put up 30, 40 points and still beat down Louisville.
No, I don't.
I still think he would have got results and put up big numbers.
I think he would have got results too, and this is a guy that I'm rooting for. But when you put them both on the field at the same time, and you look at this sample, the game 1, and then you look at what happened last year in the national championship, you have to agree with him going with Tua.
I think we were able to learn a little bit from that Auburn-Washington game. Is Auburn that good, or are they lucky?
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Opportunistic.
I think
That's a
that
better way to say
absolutely. Auburn was physical. There's no two ways about it. But to me, Washington blew that game. And by the way, neutral Atlanta. You know what I mean? So, there's nothing neutral about it. But Washington had a perfect opportunity to come in and prove that they belong on the national stage as a top 10 team, and they blew it. And Auburn got the victory. You got to give Auburn credit for winning, but to me, Washington blew that game.
But don't you think they helped themselves? To me, Washington gained more from losing than, to me, maybe what Auburn gained from winning.
But what did you gain because you jumped ship to go to Auburn? Go against Auburn, an SEC school, to go Pac-12.
I'm surprised you don't have on a purple tie because last week.
I'm still down with Washington. But what?
I'm just saying. So what do you think about Tennessee? You know, they showed up. They're the one loss in the SEC. And
so you're going to go from Washington, Pac-12, Auburn to Tennessee.
I'm just saying, where you at with these football picks, brother?
The hate is real. How about that? The hate is real right now in Tennessee. That's okay. Y'all keep kicking us. We'll be back in a few years.
Remember, it's Tennessee.
Well, Chuck, I do know that you like to talk about Clemson, so I'm going to give you the ball here on Clemson headed over to College Station to take on A&M. What do you think is going to happen there? You think they're going to kill them?
Physical. Clemson. When I think about Clemson, the first thing I'm going to tell you is being physical. I see a Clemson defense. They got some beasts. They got probably 4 NFL players on it. I love the way Dabo Swinney prepares his teams. I'm loving me some Clemson. You can't. To me, Clemson right now is the #1 team, I believe, and I think they're going to show it, hopefully, in my opinion, when they dismantle Texas A&M.
Do you think Kelly Bryant should be worried right now with the way Trevor Lawrence played?
Trevor Lawrence is a beast. Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion, one day is going to be a first-round pick, maybe even the #1 quarterback in the draft. I've been watching this cat since he was in high school. Dude is a phenomenal, and he got that long hair, and he look. I mean, just
sunshine.
Just a beautiful-looking quarterback, if there is one.
Well, he played great. Let's head over to our college football showdown of the week.
Today's Showdown of the Week is being brought to you by the Georgia Lottery.
Now, our biggest game of the week, you probably can't even argue it, over in the Pac-12, SoCal at Stanford. I'm just going to leave that there because we really need to talk about some high-profile coaching changes that have taken place. Went well for some, not so good for some others.
Well, there's one in the Pac-12 that we know about. It's Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
He has a tough game coming up against Oklahoma. So that's one coaching change that Chip Kelly comes in with all this hype. And everybody remembers his tenure at Oregon. And now they don't see the same Chip Kelly and not the same team coming out there. UCLA is going to get whooped up.
Yeah, and another guy, obviously, talk about the high-profile changes. We had Willie Taggart over at Florida State. During the week when the Virginia Tech game was coming up, you see the hype video, Taggart and the boys dancing in practice.
We ain't got to see the video. We seen you dancing and tap dancing on the set last week. Don't be trying to throw
There's no two ways about it. I will say this and admit it. I was very disappointed, screaming at my TV, not only by the performance of Florida State. I did expect more for DeAndre Francois, but you got a block for the guy, and really, Virginia Tech physically took it to them, which was not something that I was expecting to see from this Florida State team.
Well, it was evident from the start Georgia was going to have a dominant day last week, but today the season really starts. Let's see what that looks like. Coming up, it's our dog report. Stick with us on Football's Play to Win.
We've owned a few different houses through the years. Your company was absolutely the best. They were so professional. Everything they did, they didn't get a mark on a wall or anything else. It was clean, it was friendly, and it was fun. And most of the time, moving is not fun. I'm going to give a great recommendation to Atlanta Peach Movers. It's always on time and it's always professional. There is no tree in Atlanta Peach Movers.
To schedule your move, call Atlanta Peach Movers today.
Athletes of all levels experience more wear and tear than most. Stop playing through the pain. Get the proper medical attention you need from Dr. Elamine and the staff at the Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute. Our team includes specialists in many fields offering compassionate care and advanced treatments that will get you back in the game. From weekend warriors to athletes of all levels, we've got your back and shoulder and ankle and knee. Call today for an appointment or visit theshouldernation.com.
Jack! Hey, Jack! Quick question for you. No, mate, there's no actual beans in the beanstalk. It's just a name. It's not that. It's that. Doesn't the giant normally say fee, fi, fo, fun? Oh, right. I guess he decided to
get rid of fees. Unlike cable providers, AT&T Fiber, the price you see is the price you pay. $40 a month for 300 megabits per second internet. No extra monthly fees. More for your thing. That's our thing. Call 1-877-ONLY-ATT.
Today's University of Georgia Report is being brought to you by This Is It Barbecue and Seafood.
Welcome back to Play to Win, and welcome back, Jeffrey the Edge
Welcome
Schechter.
back, Edge. Welcome back, brother.
Good to be back.
Yoga retreat in Vegas.
You believe that?
No.
Well, that's a form of witness protection. So.
I don't know where you've been, but I'm glad you're back because we've got to talk about Georgia, South Carolina football. Georgia has lost 3 of the last 4 at South Carolina. It can be a tough game for them. Some writers are calling it a trendy upset. Would you agree with that?
That's what it is. South Carolina, for whatever it's worth, is the second best team in the SEC East. We're not hearing much about them, and they're laying there for Georgia, and I think a win here, and they're right in the national picture.
What do you guys think?
Jeffrey's going to go into hiding after saying all that nonsense. No, I don't expect that from South Carolina. I do expect a good game, but I do expect Fromm, that O-line, and Swift with that running game to manhandle South Carolina.
No, there's no question that this is a tough place for Georgia to play historically, but this is the number 3 team in the country and the number 23 team in the country battling against each other, and they're giving Georgia all kinds of billboard material. So as if they weren't motivated enough, they will be ready to play on Saturday.
Well, what about the quarterback rotation situation they got going on there? If the game is close, do they throw Fields in?
No, I'm staying with Jake Fromm, because at the end of the day, as much as we want to talk about Fields, there's a development phase for Fromm. I mean, everybody acts like this is his 4th year. This is his second year.
Yeah.
This is his 2nd year, so I just think he has to get in. He's going to have to take his lumps and his bumps and all those different things, but you got to let Fromm get some playing time and too much pressure really behind him. He can say there's no pressure, but come on. Come on, you got this kid behind you that was the number 1 quarterback in the nation. You're hearing about it every week.
Right.
Just let the kid get some time.
Yeah, I don't anticipate a situation where we don't see Fromm most of the game.
Do you think South Carolina is going to be able to pass the ball on Georgia?
Jake Bentley, don't forget about Bentley. He's been there all last year. He was a capable quarterback last year, and he has the control of the offense. And I think that he has the moxie of that team. He is that guy that provides that energy on offense. So him and Debo are that wrecking crew.
Yeah, and I was talking about earlier, some of that billboard material is being provided by Debo.
Right.
When he's talking about he doesn't know who
right?
DeAndre Baker is, one of the best cornerbacks in football. So there is certainly going to be a battle there in those trenches. But it's going to be something for Georgia. There is got to be an emphasis on stopping their passing game.
Yep, you got to have some pass rush. Remember, you lose Bellamy,
Mr.
you
Pass
lose Carter.
Rush.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But you lose.
But it changes the passing game,
does.
though.
But Georgia has to. Who's going to step up? I know Walker's a good pass rusher for Georgia. He did a lot last year, but somebody's going to step up for Georgia. So Bentley's going to have some opportunities because Georgia's young pass rush, they're going to be tested.
They got a lot of speed of receivers too, Bentley.
Yes.
Well, Jeffrey, with your crystal ball, how do you see the game?
I think 10's a lot of points. I think South Carolina give me a game. I'm going to go with the Gamecocks 50 to 10 points.
I don't like the name of that. I don't like the sound. You agree?
Well, yeah, I agree with Jeffrey. I don't think it's going to be over
10 points.
Yeah, in between there somewhere. That's what I think.
Well, guys, don't forget to head over to our Play to Win website. It's time for our Ippolito's You Be the Expert contest. This season, be sure to visit our website, playingtowin.tv, and take a shot to be #1 against all the competition by picking this week's college and NFL winners against the spread. We'll be giving away Ippolito's $100 and $50 gift certificates to each week's first and second place winners. So make sure you come back every week and prove your football IQ by being the best at predicting this week's college and NFL games. Ippolito's, a great neighborhood Italian restaurant. Questions and answers with the Falcons in their opening game against the Eagles. We'll analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly when we get back.
We're expanding our vegetable menu. Looking for a lifestyle change or just trying to eat a little bit better? What This Is It is here to serve. Vegetables include fresh broccoli, squash, greens, cabbage, green beans, and so many more vegetables. Every Tuesday is now Healthy Tuesdays. Buy a 4-veggie plate and get a 3-veggie plate absolutely free. That's right, a free vegetable plate. Everybody eat more veggies.
This is the story of John Smith. Not this John Smith, or this John Smith, or any of the other hundreds of John Smiths that are Humana Medicare Advantage members. No, it's this John Smith, who we paired with a Humana team member to help address his own specific health needs. At Humana, we take a personal approach to your health to provide care that's just as unique as you are, no matter what your name is.
Fuel your football. Come to Mellow Mushroom for craft brews, fresh cocktails, and stone-baked pizzas. Or mellow at your own home gate. Tailgating? No matter who wins, it's always mellow for the win. Fuel your football with Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers.
Today's show is being brought to you by Nissan and This Is It Barbecue. Today's Atlanta Falcons report is being brought to you by McDonald's.
Welcome back to Play to Win. We've all been dying to get to it. We got to talk about this Falcons-Eagles game. So many standout things, so much that we learned. Just start off with those red zone problems. I don't know what's going on with the Falcons in the red zone, but it's obviously still an issue this season.
It has been an issue. And understanding that, here, this is the first game of the season. It's a big national TV game. They're playing against the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending champs. But the Falcons put themselves in positions multiple times to score touchdowns, and they did not get it done. Here's the thing that separates the great teams from the teams who don't make the playoffs or who almost make the playoffs: scoring points when you needed to, especially with the talent that they have. The defensive side of the ball, Chuck, I thought they showed up and did what they needed to do until they got late in the game and injuries.
Yeah, and I think you're starting to see the development of one of the best defensive coordinators in the league, Marquand Manuel. But this defense was fantastic. It was a championship night for the defense. It was going into the fourth quarter. They had almost only gave up 150 total yards, which is incredible.
Right.
I thought the defense played well, but just came up short.
Yeah, I mean, it was a defensive struggle, and that's what you had. And what you looking at from the offense of Matt Ryan and the Falcons is, we don't struggle on offense, but you have to play good defensive now. But it's what I see with the identity crisis that's going on. A lot of stars, a lot of people have to touch the ball, but when we get down in the crunch time in the red zone, who's supposed to touch the ball? If you're going to give it to Julio, give it to him every play.
Right.
To me, he's the most productive Falcon, and that's the
But
only
every
one
play,
Matt
though?
Ryan. Every play.
Well, I had a very
tonight,
very difficult time seeing him in the red zone in a two tight end situation with no Julio.
I understand that, but I'm talking about in the field, because tonight, I didn't see much from many of the other guys. When it came to
you
receiving.
spread it out, but the conversation about offense has not changed because Sarkisian and their lack of scoring points when they needed to, and it cost them the game again.
Penalties. Do we think that was a problem during the game?
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Well, yeah, but
that has to be historic.
But we've been there.
Yes,
Yeah,
and it's the first game of the season.
Right.
I kind of expected a little bit of sloppy football and guys kind of figuring out.
Sloppy on both sides with the penalties. It was a sloppy game by both teams.
Yeah,
Excellent
they got a
defense,
horrible call on
sloppy
Grady
on
Jarrett,
offense.
though. I figured
Both
can defense hit anymore? Seriously, though, can defense hit?
I agree with you. You're exactly right. But you know what, though? The Falcons, that really affected them. Because think about this so many times on when they punted, all of a sudden they get a holding penalty or a punt return, a kick return, or anything. So, I mean, penalties are huge, guys. It's momentum breakers.
10 yards away from success. 10 yards away.
It's a heartbreaker, isn't it? Guys, stick with us. When we come back, we've got Dr. E and the NFL Medical Report. It's all coming up on Football's Play to Win.
At McDonald's, a happy wallet and a happy family can live in harmony. All with a Happy Meal for just $3. 4 Chicken McNuggets made with all white meat, the goodness of milk, and crisp apple slices. All for just $3 on the $1, $2, $3 menu at McDonald's.
Where are we taking him?
I have no clue. We're just TV doctors.
If this was a real emergency, I'd be freaking out. But thanks to Cigna, we can do more than just look heroic.
We can help save lives by getting you to a real doctor for a checkup. Nurse, this thing's defective.
Please don't touch that.
We are the TV Doctors of America.
Together with Cigna reminding you
To go, know, and take control of your health.
Doctor poses.
Cigna, together, all the way.
Now at McDonald's, get any size soft drink or sweet tea for $1 or small McCafe for $2.
Today's player, medical, and injury report is being brought to you by the Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute.
Welcome back to Play to Win. It's time now for our player medical injury report with Dr. El-Amin. A lot to get to today, unfortunately. Let's talk a little bit about Jarrett McKinnon, 49ers running back.
That's
Torn
right.
ACL?
Yeah, he tore his ACL, exactly. Now, Jarrett McKinnon, as you guys know, he just signed a huge deal with the San Francisco 49ers and a non-contact maneuver.
How does that happen?
Yeah, it's fun. A lot of people think it has to do with his previous injury. A lot of people think it has to do with the turf that he practices on. But he tore his ACL and he's out for the season.
So it's a domino effect.
It
Maybe
is.
it was the calf injury that wasn't supported. Oh, my God.
Absolutely. So, this is a big hit for him this year, but he should be back next season.
Unfortunate. And also Carson Wentz still not back.
Absolutely. We called that last week. We said that he's coming from a ACL injury from last year. He's not playing this week. It should be, hopefully he can get back maybe next week, but I doubt it. Maybe look for him at week 3 to get back. And if he does get back, his mobility is still going to be a little bit off. So, he's still recovering.
Kind of ration him out little by little, reintroduce him. And I believe anything you tell me, and you guys should too, because you definitely called this Andrew Luck situation.
Absolutely. As you know, Andrew Luck, 2 seasons now. He's been out. He had his labral tear. He had a shoulder injury. We diagnosed him. We said last year he'd be out for 2 seasons. He didn't get better, and now he's going to play this year. But we do know that we're still worried about whether or not he can throw the ball down the field. So, but he will play this week, and hopefully he should have a good season.
You must know somebody that knows somebody. And speaking of people that know things and can read the future, when we come back, we will have Jeffrey the Ed Schechter's picks in our lightning round. Stick with us on Football's Play to Win.
Athletes of all levels experience more wear and tear than most. Stop playing through the pain. Get the proper medical attention you need from Dr. Elamine and the staff at the Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute. Our team includes specialists in many fields offering compassionate care and advanced treatments that will get you back in the game. From weekend warriors to athletes of all levels, we've got your back and shoulder and ankle and knee. Call today for an appointment or visit theshouldernation.com.
Fuel your football. Come to Mellow Mushroom for craft brews, fresh cocktails, and stone-baked pizzas. Or mellow at your own home gate. Tailgating? No matter who wins, it's always mellow for the win. Fuel your football with Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers.
Jack! Hey, Jack! Quick question for you. No, mate, there's no actual beans in the beanstalk. It's just a name. It's not that. It's that. Doesn't the giant normally say fee, fi, fo, fum? Oh, right. I guess he decided to
get rid of fees. Unlike cable providers, AT&T Fiber, the price you see is the price you pay. $40 a month for 300 megabits per second internet. No extra monthly fees. More for your thing. That's our thing. Call 1-877-ONLY-ATT.
Welcome back to Play to Win, and it's time. We've been waiting this entire show to get Jeffrey the Ed Schechter's picks. It's time for our lightning round. Jeffrey, give the people the information they need to have.
Starting out Penn State Pitt, an old-time backyard rivalry. I like the home dogs, Panthers with the 9 points. I think Stanford's got too much class for Southern Cal. Give the 5.5 with the Cardinal. I think Michigan State will be at the head-handed team this week going to Arizona State. Take the 6 with Arizona, the home dog. Something smells around here.
Not it.
You know what it is? Pittsburgh and Tomlin have gotten very stale. Cleveland's going to win this game. Take the 4. Houston and New England could be a preview of the AFC Championship, although I don't think New England's going to get there. I think Houston's the team to beat. Take the 6 with Houston. I think Jacksonville going to cover the 3 over the Giants. Their defense is too good. See you next week.
The man has spoken, and he has never been incorrect. Bob, you have something you want to add to that over there?
Bryce Love for Heisman. Go Stanford. Go Mighty Card.
Just a little bit of bonus over there. Guys, thanks for hanging with us on Football's Play to Win. Jeffrey, Bob, Jamal, Chuck, and myself will all be back with you next week. There's always more. We'll see you at 9 a.m. on Saturday. Football's Play to Win.
Today's show has been brought to you by McDonald's and Georgia Lottery.